Did you know that The Mandalorian wasn't even supposed to be Disney Plus's first Star Wars show? Originally, they planned to launch with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, but when Jon Favreau pitched his vision of a lone bounty hunter and a mysterious child, everything changed. Now, after becoming the most successful Star Wars project since Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm, The Mandalorian might be ready for its biggest evolution yet, the jump to the big screen. Din Djarin and Grogu became household names, merchandise flew off the shelves, and suddenly Star Wars felt fresh again. But as we enter a new era of Star Wars content, with mixed reactions to recent shows like Andor and The Acolyte, one question keeps coming up. Could The Mandalorian make the leap from streaming success to theatrical blockbuster? The precedent is there. Breaking Bad did it with El Camino, Game of Thrones is planning theatrical films, and even Marvel has started bringing streaming characters to the big screen. But would it work for our favorite Mandalorian and his little Force-sensitive companion? But before we dive deeper, as always, a quick ask. If you're new to the channel or haven't subscribed yet, please take a second now to hit that subscribe button. It's one small click for you, but a huge deal for us. Thanks. The perfect storm. Let's be honest, Star Wars has been struggling to find its footing in theaters. Since the Rise of Skywalker in 2019, we haven't seen a single Star Wars film on the big screen. The announced movies keep getting delayed or cancelled, from Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron to Kevin Feige's mysterious project. Meanwhile, The Mandalorian has consistently delivered what fans want: compelling characters, epic adventures, and that perfect blend of nostalgia and innovation. But here's where it gets interesting. Season 3's finale didn't just wrap up storylines, it opened doors. The reunification of Mandalore, the lingering threats in the galaxy, and the evolving relationships between Din and Grogu all point to something bigger on the horizon. Something that might be too epic for the small screen. Before we dive deeper into why The Mandalorian deserves the big screen treatment, we need to look at the current state of Star Wars television. While The Mandalorian soars, other shows have struggled to capture that same magic. Andor, despite critical acclaim, didn't draw the same viewership. The Book of Boba Fett left many fans underwhelmed, and anticipation for The Acolyte hasn't reached the fever pitch Disney might have hoped for. What makes The Mandalorian different? It's simple. The show understands what Star Wars fans want, while still taking bold creative risks. It's not just about nostalgia, it's about building something new on the foundation of the things we love. Each episode feels like a mini-movie, with cinema-quality effects and storytelling that would feel right at home on the big screen. The Luke Skywalker factor. Let's talk about the crate dragon in the room, Luke Skywalker. His appearance in The Mandalorian Season 2 finale wasn't just a cameo, it was a statement. It showed that this series could handle the biggest moments in Star Wars history while still maintaining its own identity. The theatrical film would open up even more possibilities for this kind of epic crossover. A Mandalorian movie wouldn't need to rely on cameos to succeed either. The foundation is already there. Din Djarin and Grogu's relationship has evolved beyond the simple protector and asset dynamic. They're a family now, and their story has grown bigger than just bounty hunting. Setting up the stakes. Season 3 left us with Mandalore reunified but vulnerable. Bo-Katan sits on the throne, but we all know peace is temporary in the Star Wars universe. The Imperial remnants are still out there, and the power vacuum left by the Empire's fall is far from filled. This is where a movie could raise the stakes to truly cinematic levels. Imagine this scenario. A new threat emerges, one that targets not just Mandalore, but the very essence of what it means to be a Mandalorian. The scattered Imperial forces unite under a charismatic leader who's discovered ancient technology capable of neutralizing Beskar armor. Suddenly, the Mandalorian's greatest defense becomes useless. This kind of threat would require more than just Din and Grogu. It would need the entire Mandalorian people to unite, possibly even requiring help from the New Republic. We could see Cara Dune's replacement as Marshal, Bo-Katan's forces, and maybe even some surprise allies from across the galaxy. The character evolution. One of the most compelling aspects of The Mandalorian has been Din Djarin's evolution from a strict follower of the Way to someone who questions and adapts his beliefs. A movie would be the perfect opportunity to complete this character arc. We've seen him remove his helmet, adopt a Force-sensitive child, and help reclaim Mandalore. So what's next in his journey? And let's not forget about Grogu. His powers have grown considerably, but he's still far from a fully trained Jedi. A movie could explore the balance between his Mandalorian upbringing and his Force abilities in a way that the TV series hasn't had time to fully develop. The Mandalorian already uses groundbreaking technology like the volume for filming, but a theatrical budget would take things to the next level. Imagine seeing those iconic helmet reflections on an IMAX screen, or experiencing a full-scale battle for Mandalore with theatrical sound design. The show's signature Western-style filming would translate perfectly to the big screen. Those wide shots of Din walking through alien landscapes, the intimate character moments inside the Razor Crest, all of these would be enhanced by the cinematic format. Let's look at why this transition could work by examining other successful streaming to cinema adaptations. When Breaking Bad released El Camino, it proved that beloved streaming characters could draw audiences to theaters. Even more recently, Tom Cruise's streaming film Top Gun: Maverick turned into one of the biggest box office successes of all time. But here's what makes The Mandalorian different. It already feels cinematic. The show's production values, from its visual effects to its soundtrack, are on par with major theatrical releases. When composer Ludwig Göransson's iconic theme plays, it doesn't feel like TV music. It feels like it belongs in a theater. Potential plot directions. The real excitement lies in the countless storytelling possibilities a theatrical release could explore. Given where the series has left us, several compelling narratives naturally emerge. Picture this. Deep beneath Mandalore's war-torn surface, Imperial remnants uncover ancient Mandalorian weapons of devastating power. Not just any weapons, but artifacts that could predate the Beskar Age, capable of turning the planet's own power against its people. This discovery could force Din Djarin into an impossible choice: protect Grogu or save his people's homeland. It's exactly the kind of high-stakes conflict that would justify a cinematic treatment. But perhaps the most intriguing possibility lies in the criminal underworld that's been quietly expanding since the Empire's fall. We've seen glimpses of it throughout the series, but a film could fully explore how these criminal syndicates have evolved. Imagine a powerful crime lord discovering the secrets to corrupting Beskar, the very foundation of Mandalorian culture and protection. This wouldn't just be another bounty hunting mission, it would strike at the heart of what it means to be Mandalorian. Such a story could naturally bring back fan-favorite characters like Cobb Vanth and Fennec Shand, weaving them into a narrative that both feels fresh and familiar. Then there's the Force element, the spiritual thread that's been carefully woven throughout the series. We've watched Grogu's powers grow, but what if he sensed something through the Force that only he could understand? Something so significant that it would require both his Force sensitivity and Din's Mandalorian skills to confront. This approach could tie into the larger Star Wars mythology, while keeping our core father-son relationship at the center of the story. It's the kind of narrative that would both satisfy casual viewers and die-hard fans, offering spectacular visual moments while maintaining that emotional core that makes The Mandalorian so special. Each of these directions offers something unique, but they all share one crucial element. They build on the foundation the show has already established while pushing the boundaries of what's possible in this corner of the Star Wars universe. A theatrical release wouldn't need to abandon the intimate storytelling that makes the show work. Instead, it could amplify those personal stakes against a larger, more cinematic backdrop. The challenges. Of course, transitioning to film isn't without its risks. The intimate storytelling that makes The Mandalorian special could get lost in the need for bigger, more explosive sequences. There's also the question of timing. Would a movie interrupt the flow of the TV series or serve as a grand finale? But these challenges also present opportunities. A theatrical release could explore stories too big for television, while maintaining the character-driven approach that fans love. It could bridge gaps between seasons, or serve as a launching point for new adventures. The future of Star Wars. Here's what makes this possibility so exciting. A Mandalorian movie could reshape how we think about Star Wars storytelling. Instead of forcing every story into either a TV show or a movie, why not let the story dictate the format? Some tales need 8 episodes to breathe, while others demand the grandeur of cinema. Disney has already announced they're rethinking their Star Wars strategy, with The Mandalorian proving itself as the most consistently successful Star Wars property since Disney's acquisition. It makes perfect sense to use it as a bridge between streaming and theatrical releases. But that's just our opinion. What do you think? Would you watch The Mandalorian on the big screen? What story would you want to see told? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Star Wars analysis. This video is made by movie fans for movie fans.